This is the last known footage ever recorded of Elisa Lam. A young woman stands inside an elevator. She presses multiple buttons. She steps back into the corner. She leans forward, then suddenly retreats. Her hands move in strange, deliberate motions, as if someone is standing directly in front of her, but no one else ever appears on camera. And to this day, no one knows what Elisa Lam was trying to escape. Elisa Lam was 21 years old, a Canadian university student from Vancouver. She was known as intelligent, creative, and deeply introspective. Elisa often wrote online about her thoughts, her struggles, and her desire to understand herself better. She loved traveling alone, not because she was reckless, but because solitude gave her clarity. In January 2013, Elisa arrived in Los Angeles as part of a solo trip across California. For her, this journey was meant to be freeing. Instead, it would become her last. Elisa chose to stay at the Cecil Hotel, a 14-story building in downtown Los Angeles. At first glance, it looks ordinary, but the Cecil Hotel carries a reputation that few buildings can escape. Opened in 1924, it was once a respectable hotel for businessmen and tourists. But during the Great Depression, everything changed. The area declined, crime increased, and the hotel slowly became a place associated with tragedy. Over the decades, dozens of suicides, violent incidents, and unexplained deaths were linked to the Cecil. Some called it cursed, others said it was simply forgotten. Either way, it was not the kind of place you'd expect a young traveler to feel safe. During the first few days of her stay, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Elisa explored the city. She posted updates online. She stayed in regular contact with her family. But then things began to change. Hotel staff later reported that Elisa's behavior became increasingly erratic. She appeared anxious, disoriented at times. She told staff that someone was following her. She asked to change rooms, not once but multiple times. Eventually, she was moved to a room alone. Even her former roommates had complained that Elisa was acting strangely. Something was clearly wrong. On January 31st, 2013, Elisa Lam was last seen alive. That night, she entered the hotel elevator. What happened next would haunt the internet for years. The surveillance footage, later released by police, shows Elisa behaving in a way that's difficult to explain. She presses several elevator buttons as if trying to escape quickly, but the doors don't close. She steps out, looks down the hallway, then suddenly hides in the corner. Her movements are slow, almost cautious. Her hands gesture repeatedly as though she's talking, arguing even with someone we cannot see. No one else appears, no shadow, no reflection, nothing. Days passed. Elisa never checked out. Her family, growing worried, contacted the Los Angeles Police Department. A search was launched. Officers searched the hotel. They searched nearby streets. They even brought dogs to the rooftop. But Elisa Lam was nowhere to be found. Then another strange detail emerged. Hotel guests began complaining about the water. They said it looked dark, it tasted unusual, and the water pressure was noticeably low. At first, it seemed like a simple maintenance issue, until it wasn't. Maintenance workers were sent to inspect the rooftop water tanks. When they opened one of the tanks, they made a discovery that shocked everyone involved. Inside the tank was the body of Elisa Lam. She had been there for days. There were no visible signs of physical trauma, no evidence of sexual assault, no clear indication that someone else had been involved. But the questions were only beginning. How did Elisa reach the rooftop? An area not easily accessible to guests. How did she climb up to the water tank? And how did she open a heavy metal lid on her own? Even more disturbing. Why was the lid reported as closed when her body was found? The official autopsy concluded that Elisa's death was accidental, drowning. Authorities suggested that she may have been experiencing a mental health episode. Elisa had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. But for many, this explanation felt incomplete. Mental illness does not answer every question. It doesn't explain the elevator footage. It doesn't explain the locked rooftop doors, and it doesn't explain why no one heard or saw anything unusual. As the case gained attention, theories flooded the internet. Some believed Elisa was suffering from paranoia and hallucinations. Others suspected that someone else was involved, a presence never captured on camera. And some pointed back to the Cecil Hotel itself, a place with a history so dark that it seems to absorb tragedy. Officially, the case of Elisa Lam was closed. No arrests, no further investigation. But the mystery remains alive, because every time someone watches that elevator video, they notice something new, a movement, a hesitation, a moment that feels wrong. So now the question remains, what do you think really happened to Elisa Lam that night?